Wuchang Fallen Feathers is a game about a cursed warrior hunted by dark powers searching for redemption, and is built on Unreal Engine 5 and is probably one of the most poorly optimized PC launches in 2025. And yes, of course, I tried running it on the Steam Deck. Today, let's go into what you can expect, why it performs the way it does, and what settings to use if you really want to experience this kind of regret in handheld form. Out from the get-go, the game defaults on uncapped frame rates because it assumes that you're running on a desktop with a 4080 and a minor god living in your CPU. On the Steam Deck, however, that translates to around 22 FPS on a good day. The visuals are fairly impressive when you're not moving, and the moment you do, looks like a PlayStation 2. Hell, I think even a PlayStation 2 looks better. But if you really want to play it, here's the settings that I landed on after testing almost every option and restarting the game a few times and listening to my Steam Deck basically beg for mercy. For the graphics settings, we are on the display mode windowed, resolution at 1152 by 720 because I really need that extra resolution. So we're going to be using FSR, lock FPS at 30, VSync off, overall quality set to low, and motion blur and depth of field turned off. Normally I'd turn on these two settings, but I really want to stretch out how much FPS we can save, so I decided to turn these two off. As a little bit of a side note, you can go to camera options and set the field of view from the default 75 to 65. A shorter field of view can save you a bit of FPS, but it doesn't really save you that much. Now for the advanced settings, oversampling resolution is set to 70 instead of 75. Although I've tested all different values, I can't really find a big dip. No, I just set it to 70 because that one seems to be a bit of a sweet spot in terms of image quality. Super resolution is set to FSR. You can use TSR and it is a little bit of a clearer setting, but it does tank your FPS a bit more compared to FSR. Frame gen is absolutely turned off. If you turn on frame gen, you will get so much input latency and it's going to suck. Anti-aliasing is low. Sharpening is at 0. I didn't want to sharpen anything because anything you sharpen is just going to be ugly, so I decided to just wash them all out. And every other setting turned to either low or off, whichever is available. This is absolutely a nuclear option type of settings. Every slider pulled down as low as it goes. The result, a maybe playable experience in certain indoor areas and sometimes a solid 26 FPS. Outside in the overworld, it drops to the low 20s sometimes, often dipping below 20s when the enemies show up or when you dare to look at multiple trees. For the Steam Deck settings, we obviously have frame rate limit set to 30 FPS, allow tearing turned on, and the manual GPU clock set to 1600 to prevent any further stuttering than the stuttering that you're already experiencing. The scaling filter is also set to sharp since we're running at that lower resolution to enable FSR. Sharpness is again put to 0. If you put any sharpness on, it's just going to look really ugly. And my Decky undervolt is also set to -25 on Core 0 to Core 3. Performance-wise, even with all of those settings applied, you will not maintain 30 FPS. And it's not the Steam Deck's fault, it's the game just not being ready for handheld hardware. Wuchang uses Unreal Engine 5's fanciest features, lumen lighting, nano geometry, and overly aggressive shaders, and very little optimization for lower-end GPUs. In short, this game was not built for the Steam Deck in mind, and it clearly shows. Look, if you're here, you're probably like me and want every game to be on the Steam Deck so you can play it on the go when you're not on your gaming PC. And I get it, you paid for that power button and you intend to use it. But Wuchang Fallen Feathers just is not ready. No amount of downshifting or tweaking can fix the game currently at the moment, unless there's major patch drops. And when I mean major, I mean probably rewrite half of the code. Still, if you want to mess around, the settings I provided will at least minimize your suffering and make the game somewhat playable. If you're looking for this type of gameplay, you can always play Stellar Blade. I'll get to making a video for that game as well. I did finish it already, but I just haven't made a video because this channel is new. If you like the video, leave a like. If you have any questions or if you'd like me to test some other games, leave a comment down below. That's it for this video. Stay downshifted.